Binolt was no match for neither Gon nor Killua, but they let him walk away with his dignity. They even discovered a whole new advanced Nen technique all on their own, Shu, which they're using to dig their way all the way back to Masadora City again. Where will Biscuit's training take them next? New enemies, new cards, new techniques? Let's find out. What's up, guys? It's Jughead here. Welcome back to our Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today we are watching episode 64, Strengthen and Threaten. I like the sound of that. So without any further ado, tune in to my full uncut reaction and stay for my in-depth analysis afterwards. So, Hunter x Hunter episode 64 in 3, 2, 1. Let's watch. Let's see what we're getting into today. Our boys have made it to Masadora City already. Oh, they've only made it through the one mountain, or have they made it to... Oh, nope, they made it to Masadora City. Let's make our way back. Yeah. I knew it. Strengthen and threaten. Again, I'm liking the sound of that. You have the requisite physical strength to defeat every enemy here, but what you lack is the ability to come up with a plan of attack as you fight. Yes, I'm talking strategy is everything in Hunter x Hunter. It's not just raw power, it's not just potential. You need to go in with a plan, with some intelligence, with a strategy. This little guy who I said reminds me of the little training droid from A New Hope. You're guaranteed to get stronger as you progress. What is Killua gonna go up against? New monster car. So they're gonna be going after monsters this There's another monster. So are we just going after monsters this episode? This is interesting. Is this the same like frog lizard that they ran away from after defeating the Cyclops last episode? Because that would be really cool. That last episode they were either too afraid or too overwhelmed to take on that fuzzball and that lizard toad thing, but just 2 weeks of Biscuit's help and boom, instantly. Same thing with this bubble horse. Understanding the mechanics of this white and red ball. When it comes to analysis and physical strength, Killua is stronger, but Gon makes up for it with his concentration and recovery speed. Very interesting. Physical strength is in Killua's court. Okay. That's interesting. Yes, we need defense. Not just spell cards, but Nen. Okay, we're about to learn something new. Even though, like I said, I probably already know what's about to be told here. Ten, Zetsu, Ren, and Hatsu and Gyo are combined in this technique. Defense, so it would be Ken. Oh, or Ko. Oh, she's gonna distribute Ko. You focus all of your aura into one part of your body, then attack. So in Gon's case, put it in your fist. Going to attack with my fist using Ko. You must block my attacks. Don't dodge. If you dodge, you'll get fucked up probably, because she's aiming where she needs to aim. If you use your aura to block normally, you'll take considerable damage. It will break you. You're half right. Ko against Ko. As long as you are... Yes. As long... You have to rely on knowing that you're an equal match. You'll be blown away to pieces. Yeah. You'll be dust. And that would be Ken. Like I've explained in over the last 2 episodes, because it was a topic of conversation, these are 2 techniques that I got spoiled to me early on, so I've known about them. So, Ko. Let's watch this first, then I'll try and break it down in real time. But so powerful, even though it was so slow. That was the power of Ko alone. The speed and the power, yeah. So Ko, concentrating all of your aura into one part of your body. Offensive. Ko leaves you pretty much defenseless. Ken concentrates all your aura around your body. Defensive. Your Ten is allowing your aura to flow all through and around your body. Your Ren lets you output that aura way more. So Ken is pretty much condensing it, pressurizing it, so that you still have massive aura all around you, but it's condensed and pressurized tight around your body. So it's either like a brick wall maybe, or at least like a thick padding. Instead of punching through water, it's like punching through molasses or honey. Way more saturated. So it's like in science class, if you fill a container with gas, a large container with gas, the pressure is low. But if you fill the same amount of gas into a much smaller container, that same amount of gas is now under a much larger amount of pressure. So, and that's what I'm imagining it as, like this barrier between your body, it's a condensed pressure of your aura. Ko leaves you defenseless. Ken pretty much leaves you offenseless. Your attack power is 50. Okay, so now we're getting into numbers. Hopefully not too complicated. Use both at the same time. Balance it out. At the moment of attack, you shift your fist to 70% power and the rest to 30% power, because I've already dealt their attack, so now you can go on the offense. That is Ryu. So Ryu is then the balance between Ko and Ken. It lets you redistribute and optimize your aura setup around your body. You know, this percentage in your fist to punch, this percentage in your other arm or leg to block, something like that. So you have some defense and some offense to work with. And that's another essence of Hunter x Hunter, which I always talk about. Every enhancement of power necessitates an equal sacrifice or risk. There is a cost of strength, and strategy is everything. That is Hunter x Hunter. Right leg, 55% power. So have his defense higher than their attack. Now redistribute 80% power in the fist. Redistribute to yeah. It's as much a physical fight as it is a mental one. And again, that's what I love about Hunter x Hunter. There are dynamics to the combat and the power scaling in Hunter x Hunter. It's already genius just the way Togashi wrote Nen overall with these. It's incredibly written, and it also helps with the issues of other shonen have with power scaling and characters pretty much becoming gods while other people become worthless background trash characters. That you make it about Hunter x Hunter is discipline, intelligence, strategy. Oh, you just don't see that in other anime, other shonen, other seinen, just in general. So it is like so it's like a bell curve. That is very interesting. I've never thought of it, the chart, that diagram, as being a bell curve. You would focus your enhancer skills while also training the nearby categories in a balanced fashion, so it becomes a bell curve. Super fascinating. So it doesn't just happen naturally. You still need to put time and effort into it, but it ends up being a bell curve. Smash 1,000 with a single stone in a day. Jesus Christ, that training is insane. Yeah, they've gathered an audience. Oh, because you're not using Shu with the rock? Is that what the problem is? You're not enshrouding the rock? I want to see transmuter training as well, but we'll follow Bisky's direction. There's their favorite game. Gon loves his arm wrestling, his rock, paper, scissors, his little tournament games. Payback from losing the tournament. That is what, if anything, Gon's ability should be. Something with arm wrestling or rock, paper, scissors, or whatever other games there are. He's a kid at heart, so that should be, base that, your personality, your... Sorry, I was talking. I was thinking about Gon's abilities. Let me go back. Oh, okay. It's pretty much expounding upon, you know, rock, paper, scissors. Goes back to even, you know, martial arts or whatever. It's almost a ritualistic, ancient method to it. Meaning. Is he thinking about is he thinking about his abilities? I do not trust these motherfuckers. I don't. I really don't. They're using these new guys as pawns. A showdown. Wait. So they're working with Sesguera, but Sesguera's also an enemy? And Sesguera's in the game playing as well. A showdown against their group. So you're working for him, but not with him. Huh. Y'all are fucking dead. What is this dude about to say? That's ominous. That is... He's looking down on them. I didn't fucking know it, but I knew this guy was fucking sketchy. Why would you say that out loud? Like, they can all attack you. Oh shit. he was able to go around and touch every single one of them. He's dead. He's fucking dead. And I thought he was kind of cool. I wanted to see more of him. Little flower. Fistful of gunpowder. As you just saw, I can blow up anything I can what? I can what? I can what? I can what? I can blow up anything I grab with my hand. But it isn't very strong. Oh my god, but he has no fucking face? So that makes sense, yeah, because, you know, that's a fucking fireball on your hand. He can't make it strong because he has to defend his own body using Ken or whatever he's going to use to protect himself. So he can't make the explosion stronger than he is strong. But a bomb externally placed on someone else can be as powerful as he wants. Saying a certain keyword. So when he said, "I am the bomber," oh my god. That's actually okay. That's not only genius as a character, but that's genius writing from Tagashi as well, because it completely flips that cliche trope of in anime when a character like explains their abilities and their powers, and it feels like it takes away from that, like a complete pause takes away from the action, feels so unnecessary that a character is explaining their powers, so because it's meant for the audience to understand. But doing this, it's his ability, his conditions that he has to explain his powers. That's incredible. And it makes him look more innocent by being the one that's always bringing up the bomber, things like that. Wow. Okay, you're gonna have to stay for the discussion after the episode, because it's gonna be a good one. I knew this guy looked too, his design was too fucking cool to be a good guy. The antagonists are always so fucking cool looking. Like, look at that look. Don't fucking die too. So he left the game. Oh my god. He just fucked them all over. He put them in an impossible position. I'm about to sneeze. Oh. I can't wait to break down him as a character. Holy shit. I don't even know his name. What's his name? There's no way that dude is gonna let them live. He's gonna kill them all. He's dead. He's missing his face. Is he the only one coming? Uh-oh. You're fucking dead. You're fucking dead. Okay, that's not happening. This guy's dead. He's gonna kill everybody. Because there's no way a guy like that is gonna let anybody live who knows how his abilities work. That's the entire essence of his abilities. It completely ruins it. If everybody knows, okay, don't let him touch you, and he has a trigger word for his ability, and he has to explain the abilities to you. He's not gonna let you live. Wait. Ah. And he's fucking dead. If you kill a player outside the game and take their ring. What? That's crazy. Wow. So outside the game, that makes sense because they're not bound by the rules of the game. This is a full-on terrorist organization. Stay calm. Stay calm. What are these guys? They're bombers, but he can't use that ability. So what are their... Oh, so his name is Genthru. Okay, now I know. When the three of us join our right... What the hell? So do they all have the same ability? Did they all decide to create the same ability? I didn't even think that was... That's not even possible. Should have never gotten involved. Gon and Killua were so smart. Oh my god, the Phantom Troupe. And now they're all together now. What? I was wondering what they meant by invade from the outside. So they left the game and they found it in real life. Huh. I fucking knew there was something sketchy about that alliance group. Now, I was following the wrong breadcrumbs this entire time. I didn't have my eyes on Genthru. I will admit that. But there was something eerie in that atmosphere of this gathering of players. This is Hunter x Hunter. How were people not going to get maimed and murdered here? That's what I'm saying. I should have known. The dripped out, cool looking characters are almost always the bad guys. Let me also say this before we get into the meat and potatoes of this discussion. I love the pacing so much. I am loving the pace of this arc we are on so far. And I've said that about Hunter x Hunter in general. Skip the bullshit. They've been covering so much in 2 episodes. We've covered every advanced Nen technique I think there is. We've gone through multiple training stages. The bombers been revealed. The Phantom Troupe are all together and have found the island by boat. Where the hell have they been? This is what I'm talking about when comparing the 1999 version to this. 1999 is so much slower and includes a lot of fluff on top of entirely new filler plots and filler characters. This episode today was quite perfectly paced. Every episode so far in the Greed Island arc has been amazingly paced. And so much has already happened. Now, let's get into the actual discussion. This is going to be a long discussion. This is going to be a big discussion. So strap in. This is going to be a great discussion today. Genthru is the bomber, though there are multiple bombers. Right now, it's a trio. But I just want to talk about Genthru. I'm really glad to finally see another character besides Kurapika with conditions set on their nen abilities. That's been something I want to see expanded and seen more so I can understand it more. Genthru is a very good character for this. And also for understanding the nen techniques as well and the limitations of your own abilities. Genthru's ability is precisely calculated as well as condition-based. Little Flower and his more complex ability Countdown both illustrate how nen abilities are inextricably linked to the user's will and the conditions they impose. From the very beginning with Kurapika, I've loved the idea of conditions and vows because it's a piece of character writing from Togashi that emphasizes how true power comes with inherent limitations, risks, responsibilities. In Genthru's case, his power is activated by a verbal and physical trigger. So his condition is as much about mind games as it is about the explosive output and raw strength of the ability. Genthru's Little Flower ability is essentially an explosive nen technique. I assume that is transmutation. Since he's really just transmuting his aura into a red ball of explosives in the palm of his hand, transmuting his aura into, fire, gunpowder, whatever you want to consider that. What I mean. What's interesting about this is that Genthru is obviously not immune to fire. Who the hell is? Or explosions, or what have you. That's what makes Killua's ability so rare, so unique, and so amazingly powerful. The act of transmuting one's aura into electricity is one thing. That's not the amazing part. It's great, but it's not the amazing part. I mean, there's no stopping another transmuter from transmuting their aura into electricity, deciding upon that. They can. Anyone can. What is amazing is the fact that Killua is immune to electricity. That's what arguably no other transmuter on the planet is capable of. And that's why no one else would ever transmute their aura into electricity, because they just electrify themselves. So while anybody can choose to try and transmute their aura into electricity, nobody else would or is or should. Those people would either electrify themselves or they'd have to protect themselves with Ken. Killua doesn't have to do any of that. He's naturally immune from his childhood years of electric torture. It is such amazing writing to have the boys' nen technique training take place side by side then with Genthru's reveal, because the lore and mechanics go hand in hand and allow the audience to connect the dots and analyze the abilities. Genthru must do two things when using Little Flower. He must protect his hand and his body from his own explosions. And secondly, in order to do that, he must then limit the power of his Little Flower explosion. The aura output must be less than his aura shield in order to not hurt himself, which means his Little Flower is incapable of killing someone. He not only has to be touching someone physically with his hand, and that person must not know about this ability, or else they would just use Ken. It already can't kill them even if they weren't using defensive aura, but it would literally do nothing to you if you knew it was coming, because you'd send your aura to that spot on your body he's touching, either Ko if you weren't sure how strong it was, and if he was only using one hand, or use Ryu if you knew you were stronger and if you were worried about him using Little Flower in both hands. Also, using Ryu would let you get a retaliatory strike on Genthru, since you know at the moment of attack, Genthru's defense is low, since most, if not all of his aura is in his arm to not only use his ability, but protect himself from his own ability, leaving the rest of his body pretty vulnerable. Genthru must pay for his ability, pay up aura for self-defense. If this episode didn't also include Biscuit's training in Ko and Ken and Ryu, I would have never pieced all of this together, which is why it's such amazing writing, like I said, to have these two plots take place side by side. Countdown is his more powerful and much more ominous signature ability. And so, let me know if I'm going to get all of this right. I watched the episode twice, but I could still screw this up. Countdown gets activated when Genthru attaches a bomb onto a target. This is obviously conjuration and transmutation, or emission. Definitely conjuration because he's conjuring an actual time bomb, but I don't know if the rest is transmutation or emission or both. To attach this bomb, he must physically touch the person while simultaneously verbally triggering the ability by uttering the word bomber. That's not all. He must also explain his ability as well. A triple set of conditions: physical contact, spoken keyword, and explaining his own ability to said target. In this case, in this episode, he had to have touched every single person in that cave at some point in time, have a conversation with them, and find an opportune time to slip in the word bomber. Or he could have said that word to everybody all at once. Then he must explain his technique to them. Only then will the Nen contract be fulfilled and the bomb affixed to his target or targets. A time starts ticking based on the target's heartbeat. It forces his target to stay calm, which would include, not rushing toward him, not fighting him, not yelling, not getting scared, pretty much anything. With such conditions like that, obviously Countdown is a life or death threat. If that bomb explodes, you're dead, I assume. Unless you're a Vogan or something like that, a top-ranked enhancer, you're not surviving. Countdown is psychological warfare, as much a tool for intimidation and control as it is for dispatching foes. Just the looming threat of an explosion creates terror in his victims, and also urgency to follow his every order and every word. Those people are forced to constantly monitor their heartbeat, which means their emotions and their actions, to stay in line. A mere momentary panic could reduce your time, and then it's kaboom, it's kablowy, sayonara. What I imagine also makes this ability so powerful, alongside the conditions themselves, is how much risk and danger it puts himself in. One of his conditions is literally explaining his entire ability, and his weaker ability literally has the potential to blow his own arm off. But his main ability, literally explaining his entire ability, peeling back the curtain and filling you into exactly how the magic trick works, how his Hatsu works. That's dangerous. That person could tell someone else that Genthru hasn't touched as a warning, or somebody could eavesdrop or overhear his explanation. Genthru cannot risk this information getting out. I mean, how long has he been playing this game for and nobody knew who the bomber was? Meaning he's either killed every single person who's ever encountered him for his identity to never get out, or he's kept things under wrap for months or years or however long it's been, biding his time. Some of those players in that cave could have had bombs on them for who knows how long, waiting for that final condition to be met when they were all rounded up together to explain it all at once. That's why I think everybody's a dead man or woman. He has to be ruthless and spare no one. Anyone with knowledge of his identity and or his abilities just walking freely is beyond a huge risk for him. It is textbook high risk, high reward. I like that. I just can never get over the brilliance of Togashi's writing to develop Nen in a power system so balanced and so intuitive and so logical, so precise that it feels impossible for it to suffer from the same power scaling issues other anime like Dragon Ball Z and Super and Naruto and more have suffered from. Unlike many abilities in shonen where exposition is merely a narrative convenience for us, the audience, Countdown requires Genthru to state its workings out loud for it to trigger. Hunter x Hunter is a world where knowledge is power. I love this about Hunter x Hunter. A strong character's weakness or downfall isn't just another arbitrarily even stronger character. It's much more complex than that. It's not any of that cliche crap of, my power is 1 million, or, well, my power is 1,000,001. Like that fucking Dragon Ball Z, it's over 9,000 meme. Dog shit power scaling like that. Where Goku where Goku returned from his training with King Kai to confront Vegeta and Nappa, and Goku starts powering up, showing off the fruits of his labor, and Nappa asks Vegeta what his scouter is measuring Goku's power level to be, and Vegeta yells it's over 9,000. And then because you create such an arbitrary, shallow bullshit power system in your universe, his power level is like fucking 3 million, then it's 30 million, then it's 60 million, then it's 150 million, and that's all in the same fucking Frieza arc when he hits Super Saiyan for the first time. Then you're in the billions, and then you're getting into grade levels and multipliers like Jesus fucking Christ. Here in Hunter x Hunter, your weakness can be anything. It can be yourself. It can be your own abilities. It can be your own hubris. It can just be somebody weaker than you, but smarter than you. Somebody more disciplined than you. There are hard set counters and risks and limitations and drawbacks to everything. And it's all logical and sensical and exact. There's no question marks in your head. And most of all, raw power and strength is beat out by strategy, resolve, intelligence, having a frickin' plan. Like, for example, Uvogan being put into Zetsu, but Kurapika could only do that to him because Kurapika can only use that ability on like 10 people in the whole damn world at any given time. Judgment Chain prevents Chrollo from using Nen, but Kurapika using Emperor Time literally kills him little by little. Castro, he lost because he didn't have the fidelity to perfectly and exactly conjure a likewise exact copy of himself. He didn't think about that. Because he wasn't naturally attuned to that. Reading people's memories is pretty freaking powerful. Except, actually not, if you have a chain wrapped around your heart, killing you if you open your mouth. Nen is built on a series of clearly defined stages. From the fundamentals to advanced techniques to individual Hatsu abilities. Each layer adds a degree of complexity and control, ensuring users must understand and master both their raw aura and its applications. And by doing that, we master it too. We master the story Togashi has written. Togashi's structured approach prevents his characters from simply powering up without limits or being OP or broken. Nen's ingenious feature is that abilities come with built-in restrictions and conditions. The potency of an ability is directly tied to its risk. That makes the job of writing so much easier and frankly so much more enjoyable. Nen is Nen is also Nen is not about raw strength. It's a mental discipline. It's complex. You have to pay attention to what's going on because characters must manage their aura, consciously balance offense with defense. They must strategize and adapt. There is tactical depth where battles become contests of wit and control rather than sheer muscle, which ensures, from a writing perspective, that power and victory isn't simply a matter of more is better, like other shonen and anime are. By designing and writing a more complex, nuanced, structured universe from the start, that is your cornerstone. Togashi actually makes the job of writing easier and more enjoyable, which is something I wish more writers would think about and actually do. I went on such a tangent. I was talking about Genthru, which still relates to everything I just ranted about, but this information could be weaponized against Genthru. Again, his greatest weakness or threat isn't just someone bigger, buffer, faster than him. It's enemies who know the precise trigger mechanism, who know his identity in the first place. His weakness is him creating an ability in the first place with a double-edged sword of secrecy, because the very act of using countdown reveals its inner workings. Genthru is forced by himself to operate in absolute secrecy. If word gets out about anything, his ability is effectively rendered useless. The condition dependent nature of countdown creates a ticking time bomb for himself, his own standing in the game. The longer he plays, the more likely at some point something's going to go wrong. He's going to fuck up. It's all going to fall apart and go to shit. Also, I said it earlier during the reaction, I have to praise Togashi yet again. Some more. I'm sure you fellow Hunter x Hunter fans and Togashi fans won't mind that from me at all. Genthru's ability explanation is a brilliant subversion and almost parody of one of the most stereotypical anime tropes. Like, typically, many series include those prolonged explanation moments where characters halt the action to describe their abilities or their strategies. Scenes that often feel like clunky exposition meant solely for the viewer's benefit really breaks immersion for me, comes off as predictable, just bleh. However, with Genthru, his countdown is designed with the condition that requires him to explain his power as a part of its activation. What would normally be a meta narrative shortcut for us is integrated into the fabric of the story. Togashi pretty much, gives a nod to this old trope. He's aware of it. He's parodying it. He's repurposing it in a genius self-referential twist. Genthru isn't just telling us what his power does. He's fulfilling the very prerequisite for his Nen contract to even work. My immersion isn't broken. My understanding of Nen's complex mechanics is actually deepened doing this. And plot-wise, Genthru has created a no-win scenario. Surrender all your collected valuable cards or face certain death when your bombs all detonate. Genthru is followed out of the game by Puhat alone. Bad idea. Why would Puhat think Genthru is interested in any negotiating or compromising? His entire plan depends on keeping his methods secret and consolidating his control over those valuable cards. Puhat's attempt to bargain with him is nothing but risk for Genthru. He has to be cold and calculating. Any sign of negotiation or dissent is a liability. He has to be a mob boss, ensure no loose ends, and send a clear message that he won't tolerate any interference. He isn't just eliminating a negotiator, he's enforcing his dominance and ensuring he isn't exposed or countered, if there is one. Sacrifice anyone who doesn't fully commit to his plan. I also never even considered what would happen to someone's ring if they were killed outside the game. We saw that today. He has to keep the people inside the game alive only until he gets their cards into his book. Then he can kill them. The ring disappears, but he already has all the cards. But if they're outside the game, he can freely kill them as he wishes because the save data stays on the ring and he can snatch that thing. Very interesting. Then, I haven't even talked about Gon and Killua yet. How long have I been talking? And it's only been about Genthru, and it's only been about Togashi, and the overall Hunter x Hunter. Let's talk about our boys. We have our boys essentially completing their advanced Nen courses, their advanced courses in Nen. If you think of it like university here in America, they passed Nen 101, Intro to Nen Principles. Then Nen 201, Intermediate Nen. Now they're just about passing Nen 301, Advanced Nen. Nen 401 is what they need to take next with Biscuit, developing their Hatsus. I hope Biscuit helps Gon and Killua actually craft their Nen abilities. Now, if you read my YouTube comments and listen to my discussions, you already know I've said a couple times I was previously spoiled on the existence of Ko, Ken, and Ryu. I knew there were additional, more advanced Nen techniques we had yet to cover in the series back then until today, where we finally caught them. While a YouTube comment spoiled me years ago, that was a long time ago. It's entirely different now to listen to it be explained by the show itself, the dialogue, to witness it visually myself. Because, I didn't look anything into it. The extent of, a 20-word YouTube comment sentence was the extent to which I knew. I still consider that a spoiler, but like I said right now, it's entirely different to listen and read the dialogue, to witness it myself visually on screen. So it really didn't feel like a spoiler at all, 2020 hindsight. And now that I know and understand all of these more advanced Nen techniques, it's so fascinating and cool to think about all of the past battles and fights where they would have been employed. We just didn't know it. Netero absorbing Killua's kick on the airship. Uvo surviving a 50 caliber sniper shot to the dome and a bazooka. Uvo's bang bang punch ability is literally a Ko technique. Kurapika sending aura through his chains is Shu. Nobunaga and Phaeton definitely use Shu on their blades. Castro's Tiger Bite Fist is an application of these advanced techniques. It's fascinating to think about all these past confrontations and then be able to consciously and concisely think about it for all the future confrontations. Every punch or kick with aura needs 10 to keep that aura on your hands or legs. Every Hatsu needs 10 to keep the aura in its shape. If you need more aura, you need Ren. 10 is to maintain. Ren is to increase. So 10 plus Ren equals Ken. Everyone needs 10 and Ken in a fight. If you want to simply focus your aura in some part of your body, you need to use Gyo. If you really need more aura in that part of your body, like much more than Gyo, You need Zetsu to keep away and close aura from all the rest of your body so it all gets diverted where you need it. That's Ko. If you're using a weapon, you absolutely need Shu. Every weapon wielder we've seen and we will see, they're using Shu. Again, rather than simply boosting their power levels with arbitrary number values, Gon and Killua's training is all about understanding the nuances of Nen, and therefore our understanding of Nen. Every drill, every bout, every challenge is designed specifically to hone their precision and acuity. Ken and Ryu highlight a critical aspect of Nen I like so much from Togashi. Every offensive boost comes with a defensive trade-off. A well-timed counter can turn the tides if the opponent overcommits. You can't simply throw all of your aura into an attack. You must preserve to shield yourself. Something like that helps balance out every fight when you're writing it. Again, this is a story. This is something someone wrote and created and designed. And it's so high quality. Remember, these fights and these events are written by someone, a real person, and these fights and these events and these characters are following the rules and the law, the scripture, the lore of the universe the writer wrote and created. So fights and battles and characters and stories in general can only be as good or make as much sense as the quality of the writing. This really needs to be stressed again and again when people compare, oh, where does this rank? Here, blah, blah, blah. If Togashi were always healthy, Hunter x Hunter would have no issues going on indefinitely. It could be a fucking One Piece, 1,000 episodes, 2,000 chapters, because the quality of the foundational writing Togashi laid out for himself lets him go down whatever path he wants to. Any adventure, any plot line, any character development, for as long as he wishes. Other shonen, they kept going hundreds of episodes long, having to constantly raise arbitrary power levels, raise the stakes, introduce even more powerful enemies out of nowhere for the story to keep going. That's all it was ever about. Getting stronger, getting a new ability, a new enemy threatening to take over the world or kill everyone or destroy the world, blah, blah, blah. So predictable. Those people who wrote those manga and then those anime got created, those people confined themselves to such small sandboxes, such small worlds and ideas. Hunter x Hunter. From the beginning, we went through an exam. We helped a kid escape his family. We rose the ranks in a heaven's arena. We became bodyguards for the mafia. We traveled to a city for an auction to buy a video game to find our dad, or buy a pair of scarlet eyes, or avenge our dead clan, or steal everything we can. It all then converges where the group trying to steal everything is being hunted down by one of the mafia bodyguards who's avenging his clan, who's also friends with the two kids trying to afford a video game to find their dad. We are now inside a video game right now, trying to find our dad while our friend tries to find himself, while a Phantom Troupe tries to pillage the game or find a way to save their leader, I think. And after this, I have no idea where we will go next. You know what I'm trying to get at? The storylines and the plot lines are so creative and fun and unique and different. I literally have no idea what's going to happen next. You, all reading the manga, you have no idea what's going to happen next. And you have no idea who to even probably consider to be the main character, because it's always changing and evolving. And it doesn't matter who the main character even is, because it's all about the whole overarching, interconnected story. You watch Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, the list goes on and on and on, obviously. You know your main character is going to magically gain a new, even more powerful form because he has to get stronger, because a new bad guy has to show up, magically appear out of nowhere, and they have to want to destroy the world or rule it or something. And that cycle will repeat itself 10 fucking times until the world's been saved 10 times and the main character is practically a god, and somehow most people are still alive still, except for maybe one or two tossed in emotional deaths to make it feel like all of this mattered, and it's finally over. And you know what I'm saying? Like, Hunter x Hunter is an actual journey. We're going around the world. And it's an outward physical journey and an inward mental emotional journey. Again, I went on such a tangent. Jesus Christ. But it's just so easy to do that. I'll just end the discussion with this about Gon and Killua's training and the great writing underneath. This training arc, Biscuit's methods, harsh yet effective, demonstrates that mastering Nen is not about one overwhelming burst of power, but about sustained, disciplined growth. Hunter x Hunter and Nen is a system that rewards discipline and careful planning and deep understanding, making every victory earned and every defeat a lesson. That's Hunter x Hunter. And that's where I'm going to end today's discussion. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. I hope you did. Even better, subscribe to stay in the loop. Keep the conversation going down in the comments below, especially today. And check out my Patreon for the extra bonus content and early access if you're interested. Having said all that, and with that said, so long. Until next time. Thank you. Have a good one. Peace.